All right, let's talk about something we all think we know inside and out. Numbers. We're going to go on a little journey today, and we're going to ask a question about them that sounds, well, almost silly to even ask. But stick with me, because the answer might just change the way you think about truth itself. So 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? It's probably the first thing you ever learned in math. But if you ever, I mean really ever, stop to ask yourself how you know that's true, not just because you can count it out on your fingers, but how can we be absolutely 100% universally certain that it's an unshakable truth? That's the big question we're diving into today. So first things first, let's actually challenge that certainty. Are we really as sure as we think we are? Because it turns out that what seems totally obvious in the real world, well, it just isn't good enough for the world of pure mathematics. Okay, picture this. You drop an apple. It falls to the ground. You do it again. It falls. You do it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. Every single time, plop, it hits the floor. Now, you might be tempted to say, see, I've proven it. Apples fall. But have you? All you've really done is show that it's happened that way in the past. You haven't proven it's guaranteed to happen the next time. And that's the problem. As mathematician Ollie Nissen points out, just seeing something happen isn't the same as a logical proof. See, mathematics holds itself to a way, way higher standard. The old, well, it's always been this way argument might be fine for everyday life, maybe even for some sciences, but for mathematical truth, no way. It has to be true forever, completely independent of whether you're dropping apples or not. And this is really the heart of the matter. Observation, looking at the world, can only tell us what is happening. But a mathematical proof, which is built on pure logic, tells us what must be true. You just can't build the absolute rock-solid certainty of math on the messy, unpredictable physical world. So, if we can't trust the outside world to give us certainty, what on earth do we do? Well, this is where mathematicians did something totally brilliant. They said, fine, if the real world isn't perfect enough for us, we'll just build our own perfect world from scratch, using nothing but the power of pure thought. Now, the foundations for this new world are things called axioms. The easiest way to think about them is like the rules of a game. Right before you play chess, nobody tries to prove that a bishop moves diagonally. You just agree to it. That's the rule. Axioms are the starting rules for math. They're the statements we all agree to accept as true so that we can get the game started. Every creation needs a first piece, a single building block. And to build the entire universe of numbers, mathematicians needed the absolute simplest, most basic starting point you could ever imagine. And what could possibly be more fundamental than nothing? And here it is. This is what nothing looks like in math. It's called the empty set. It's basically a container with absolutely nothing inside it. That's our one and only building block. And believe it or not, from this one simple idea of emptiness, we are going to build everything. All right, so how do we get from this weird idea of nothing to the numbers we actually use, like 1, 2, and 3? This right here is where it gets mind-bendingly cool. We're about to see an entire universe get created from a single point of, well, nothing. Okay, let's build this together. First, we need to define 0. So we make a rule. 0 is the empty set. Done. That's our foundation. Now, how do we get to 1? Simple. We make a new set, a new container, and the only thing we put inside it is the number we just made, 0. So 1 is just the set that contains 0. Are you seeing the pattern yet? To get 2, we create a new set that contains everything we've built so far, 0 and 1. And 3, you guessed it, it's the set containing 0, 1, and 2. Each new number is just a box that holds all the numbers that came before it. It's this beautiful self-creating system, and it all started from absolutely nothing. Now, let's just pause and really think about this. What this means is that the number 2 isn't a thing, like 2 apples or 2 cars. In this system, the number 2 is, by its very definition, the set that contains the ideas of 0 and 1. It's a purely mental construct, built out of other mental constructs. And this is what brings us all the way back to the beginning. Once we have these super strict definitions for what 2 and 4 are, and once we define what plus means in terms of combining these sets, we can build a formal step-by-step logical proof that 2 plus 2 must equal 4. It's a proof that doesn't depend on apples or fingers or anything in the physical world, and that is where real certainty comes from. So this whole thing isn't just a clever mental puzzle. What we've just walked through reveals something really profound about what mathematics actually is and what it even means to know something for sure. This quote from Ollie Nason really gets to the heart of it. We could have defined our numbers in a slightly different way and it would still work. What's important isn't the exact definition of 2, but the fact that whatever we call 2 behaves in a consistent way. Does it have the right properties? Does it follow the rules? That's what gives mathematics its power. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that mathematics isn't something we discover out there in the universe like a distant star. It's something we invent. We create these perfect little abstract worlds with perfectly consistent rules. And the truly amazing thing is that these invented worlds are so powerful, they let us describe the real world with incredible precision. It's why airplanes fly, why your phone works, why the internet exists. It's the shared language of pure reason. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, that's kind of cool, but why does this abstract way of building numbers actually matter in my life? It's a fair question. It matters because this is one of humanity's greatest achievements. It shows us what real, absolute certainty looks like. I mean, think about it. In a world filled with arguments and different opinions, mathematics is this perfect, shared reality that we all built together using nothing but logic, starting from nothing at all. And so I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If something as basic and fundamental as a number is actually a human invention, a useful construction of our own minds, what else is? What other unshakable truths that we live by are actually just elegant systems that we've invented to help us make sense of it all?